do 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 do. Hiya kitties, welcome back to Sweetie Story Time with your host Sweetie Loosmanberg. Today I'm gonna tell you a story about the Lizard Brothers, so get back, get comfortable, and listen closely because I will not repeat myself, because I am not redundant. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Once upon a time, there lived two lizard brothers, both under the last name 6.Heloderma, and together the two brothers lived peacefully throughout the deserts of North America. However, as the two brothers aged, they began to experience changes both to their personality and to themselves. First of all, they both adopted nicknames. The younger brother gained the name Gila Monster, while the older brother adopted the name Beaded Lizard thanks to the bead-like patterns on his skin. And let me tell you, Gila was absolutely jealous of his older brother, mostly because of how much bigger he was. And because of that, every day and every night he mocked his younger brother by laughing at him. Laughing, I say. True, both of these lizards were relatively the same when it came to everything else. They both agreed that birds' eggs were the best food, and they agreed that if they couldn't find eggs, then smaller animals could do. But the teasing only got worse and worse. One day, however, Gila had enough. He'd lured a pack of coyotes to chase his brother away. The chase lasted longer than Gila expected, but he was glad about that. The coyotes chased Beady all the way down south where he ended up in Mexico, leaving Gila the only one of his kind left in the United States. Eventually, Beady got used to his new home and decided to call himself the Mexican Beaded Lizard in order to distinguish it from his three other brothers who we're not talking about because they're irrelevant. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Now wasn't that a great story, kiddies? Okay, let's look at the cards. With the Gila Monster card, the only error is that they do the whole poison venom confusion. Gila Monsters are venomous because they inject venom, when poison is something that's dangerous if you ingest it. I know that seems a bit nitpicky, but trust me, you learn this for a reason. And although not an error, on the back it brings up a film called The Giant Gila Monster, and it calls it a classic. But let's be real. Has anyone ever heard of this movie? Be honest. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Now with the Mexican Beaded Lizard card, it makes the classic mistake of claiming that it and the Gila Monster are the only two venomous lizards. Let me explain. You see, this is something you might have heard a lot if you grew up reading animal books. Oh, the Gila Monster and the Mexican Beaded Lizard are the only two venomous lizards in the world, blah blah blah. And that is not true. You see, not only are there 3 other species of beaded lizards that are also venomous, but monitor lizards are also venomous. So calling these two the only venomous lizards is definitely inaccurate. Luckily though, this card actually gets the terminology right, so that's the only point deduction. So yeah, both these lizards get a 9 out of 10. Thankfully for humans, these two lizards aren't very dangerous. There have been very few deaths ascribed to them. You see, when most people are bitten by them, the worst thing they get is a bit nauseous. You see, these two lizards don't really have that potent of a venom. The only people who really die from it are people with poor immune systems. So, yeah. And besides, these two lizards are in pretty remote locations, so you won't really run into them if you're just living your daily life. But still, try not to get bitten by them because, do you really want to be nauseous? Does anyone like being nauseous? And if you do like being nauseous, then you're a freak. And that's coming from a giant pile of sugar who can somehow speak clearly through a jar when my voice should realistically be muffled or not even be heard at all. Man, cartoons are weird, aren't they? Anyway, the Mexican Beaded Lizard is a pretty obscure species, but the Gila Monster's pretty famous. It shows up in basically anything talking about desert life, so yeah. Well, that's all for this episode of Toxic Terrors. Next time, hopefully, my brother will return, and he'll tell you the story of some of the oldest creatures on planet Earth. Bye! Looks like that creature has taken the bait. Now, all I have to do is blast it with a little bit of this. Whoa, what is it? You see, my little redhead friend, this cannon contains a species of jellyfish, completely unknown to most people. But it is a very powerful tranquilizer. You see, instead of injecting you with the typical venom, it injects you with hallucinations that are more powerful than shrooms or LSD combined. This will definitely make the creature inhabilitated, so we can swoop in for the... Well, not kill, I want this thing alive, but you know what I mean. Wow, I can't believe we're gonna be the first to name an undiscovered creature that no one's ever caught before. I can't believe it. Wait till Mr. G finds out about it. Yeah, maybe we'll get him to shut up. I swear I can still hear his voice. It sounds like it's coming from the sky and he's crashing down or something. I don't know. It sounds like... Well, actually, his voice seems to be zipping around and it seems to be shouting about stupid rocket boots or something. Does anyone else hear that, or have I finally gone crazy? Would you two shut up? I'm trying to get a good aim on this thing, and it's not very easy to aim when you only have flippers for hands. Look, I'm sorry, it's just that...
Oh, way to go, Eric. You threw off his aim. Way to go. Now it's careening towards the sky.
Hey, wait. Isn't that your friend up there?
I am going to die! Why won't these rocket boots turn off? Why didn't I prototype test these things?
Oh, my head. Where'd my hat go? What a crash.
Don't worry, guys. I'm here to save you. I sold you guys out to a shark guy, and I also felt bad that you were hunting a dangerous creature, but don't worry. I'm here to save you. By the way, why can't I see anything? And also, does anyone else feel a stinging sensation, or have I finally lost it?
Uh-oh.